Now, A Current Affair continues its own investigation into the...
They looked alike, they thought alike, and they acted off the same script of life. They were buddies.
Did you like him?
He was intellectual, he was well-read, he was intelligent, he was funny. Yeah, I liked him a lot, you know.
Thornley, as a young man, liked Oswald so much that from this apartment on Napoleon Street in the French Quarter of New Orleans, wrote this book called Idle Warriors, in which Oswald appears as the hero. And that was 1 year before the assassination. That's right, 1 year before the assassination.
Kerry Thornley knew Oswald during a very important period of Oswald's life, the period in the Marine Corps after he returned from Japan and just prior to his defection to Russia.
David Lifton wrote the authoritative book, Best Evidence, a scathing attack on the Warren Commission, which found that Lee Harvey Oswald was the lone gunman.
What makes Kerry, of course, really crucial historically is that he knew Lee Harvey Oswald and had his manuscript.
That manuscript landed Thornley a grueling session in front of the Warren Commission. Then, an indictment by DA Jim Garrison. The book was locked away as part of evidence, but now is being published for the first time, 29 years later, by this man, Ron Bonds, of Illuminate Press, Georgia.
My association with him never led me to believe that he was not credible.
Behind the fiesta that is always Mardi Gras, Kerry Thornley always preferred the back streets. Right now, when you think of John F. Kennedy being assassinated, do you feel anything inside?
My only regret is that it led to the war in Vietnam. That's my only regret about it at all. Other than that, I'd as soon shoot him all over again. You know, I think he was a bastard. I still think he was a bastard for different reasons now than I did then.
Thornley's boasting hatred of Kennedy, his friendship with Oswald in the Marines, the fact he lionized Oswald in his manuscript and bore a credible resemblance to the accused killer, well, that got Thornley an invitation to a party he desperately wanted to join.
I knew this guy named Slim. About a week or two after the Bay of Pigs invasion, he called me up. He says,
they would meet in Thornley's apartment on Napoleon Street, where Slim introduced him to a man whose name has been withheld, but he was nicknamed Brother-in-Law.
Brother-in-law and I shook hands, and brother-in-law said, Kerry, I think John F. Kennedy is a menace to this country, and I think he ought to be assassinated. And I said, so do I.
At Catilla's restaurant in the famous French Quarter, where Brother-in-Law was known, few tears were shed the day John F. Kennedy was killed. Carlos Castillo, Thornley's friend, was brutally frank.
I was happy.
You were happy the President Kennedy?
Yeah, I was very happy. He was happy too. A lot of people were happy. Only they
particularly us.
Yeah, you're not supposed to say that.
You're a very honest man.
Yeah, I mean, I was happy. Hell with him. No, hell no, man. The hell with him, man. Not the only one that's been assassinated.
As New Orleans continued its 24-hour-a-day party, Thornley and brother-in-law plotted the ways to kill Kennedy for the next year, up until 2 weeks before he was actually assassinated.
2 weeks before the assassination, he says, the only remaining question is who to frame for it. And I says, why do you want to frame somebody for it? And he says, people need answers. He says, I figure I'll frame some jailbird. And I said, why don't you frame some communist? And he smirked, you know. I have my suspicions that whoever I was talking to out there in Harahan, Louisiana, was at the center of the conspiracy. Whoever he was, yeah. The man I call brother-in-law, I think he was. Close to it, if not at the very center.
Thornley, not surprisingly, is an extreme right-winger. However, he has never risen to a job higher than a doorman. He says he hated Kennedy because he believed the president had tried to exclude extremists from the political process.
I felt he was dangerous about freedom of speech and about economics.
The Warren Commission, why didn't you talk about your conspiracies previously?
I talked to everybody who'd listen about killing Kennedy the whole time I was down here for 3 years, you know. They didn't ask me, I wasn't going to bring it up, you know. It didn't seem relevant. I thought Oswald did it anyway. It didn't seem relevant to me, you know.
Thornley says he no longer believes killing people is the solution to political problems. Now, we'll be right back with the man who...